Hello and welcome back, watch lovers. Today I'd like to tell you the story of a Grail watch, well, it's Grail to me, that broke, and how after many years of searching I was finally able to find a replacement. Welcome to Wrist Action. The watch is a Casio FS-03, also known as a film watch, due to its thinness. It's a watch that has a strap made of the flimsiest of metals, a plastic case, a very cheap mineral glass crystal, and a digital display that's practically illegible. Yet for all its faults, I absolutely love it. I originally bought this watch back in 2001, and here is the original receipt. I wore this watch daily for 7 years, and I would get compliments from strangers who caught sight of it, and they would say things such as, "That's a nice watch," or "That's a cool watch." And I had the feeling that these were genuine compliments, said without jealousy or malice. This watch was brought out in the mid-90s when, in my opinion, Casio were at their design zenith. It was a period before the technology boom of the smartwatch, when watchmakers had to come up with new and interesting designs to attract customers rather than relying on technology. The ancestor to this FS-03 is the Peeler FS-10, which was originally released in 1985, and that watch's unique features, other than its slanted display, was its thinness at only 3.9mm. The FS-03 is equally as thin, but adds an analog display to the digital display at the bottom. This version that I have comes with a metal bracelet, weighs more than others that came equipped with a resin band, and yet still weighs only 59 grams. It's so light and comfortable to wear that you sometimes forget that you're wearing a watch. As I said earlier, you don't buy this watch for its technological features, but yet it comes with all the features that you will need from a quartz watch. It features a day date with auto calendar, dual time for displaying a different time zone, and a stopwatch that can measure up to 1/100th of a second. It's moderately water resistant, as I've used it in a swimming pool, but I wouldn't use it for any more than that. It also has a built-in alarm with an hourly chime, which I would use before that job was taken over by my phone. Another feature of this watch that I like, well, it's more of a love-hate relationship, is its negative display. It gives the watch a unique look, but as you can see, you'll have difficulties trying to tell the time with a quick glance. Also in the mid-90s, Casio had introduced EL or electroluminescent backlighting to their watches, and this watch has that built in. After years of making do with weak LED backlights, EL backlights were a revelation. The dial lights up bright and evenly, or in the case of the negative display, the numbers light up bright and evenly, adding to the modern retro aesthetic. And yet, no matter how much you love this watch, no matter how much you look after it, it will break your heart. Back in 2009, I wore this watch on vacation to Florida. I wore it every day for 2 weeks in the humid climes of the Sunshine State. When I came back home, the connectors which attaches the strap to the case had broken. You see, this watch has one big flaw. These rubber connectors will harden and perish over time. It seems that the humid temperature had finished them off, and I was left feeling devastated. The watch was relegated to the back of a drawer. In the meantime, I scoured the internet and auction websites looking for a replacement strap. This task seemed impossible, as Casio had stopped making this watch years back, and the auction websites were filled with other watch owners trying to sell their film watches, also with broken straps. There were even some fake Casio film watches being sold to unwary customers and being passed off as the genuine article that I made a video of how to spot a fake one. I even phoned up a watch spare parts supplier who told me that he had purchased all the straps for the watch from Casio and he had only one left, a translucent resin version in pink. At that stage in my life I wasn't prepared to wear a watch with a pink strap, so I decided not to buy it. So at this stage in the story you're probably wondering why, if I was unable to buy a replacement strap, then why does my watch look like it has a brand new one? Well, this is the happy ending part of the story. About this time last year, I decided for one last time to scour the internet to see if there were any international sellers for the film watch. And by chance, I found one in the UK that was selling them. They had two new old stock watches in their possession and I purchased both of them, one to wear and one to take the strap from. By a stroke of luck I had been able to get hold of what's probably the last two remaining new old stock film watches in the world. And here is the new watch I was able to find. The model number is the FS-04 as it comes without a negative display and has slightly different hands and comes with a white dial. Other than that though, they are exactly the same and my old watch now has the new strap from the donor watch. I don't think that the positive display is as interesting to look at as the negative display, but it's sure a lot easier to read. It still has wrist presence and here are some wrist shots. So there you go, that's the story of my Grail watch. It's kind of ironic to have a watch that you know will give up on you if you wear it, because those rubber connectors will eventually deteriorate. Of course, I could keep it safe and not wear the watch in order to try and preserve it, but where's the fun in that? If anyone from Casio is watching this, please re-release this watch as part of your vintage range and I'm sure you'll sell thousands. Thanks for watching, but now I want to hear from you guys. Do you have a Grail watch that you've been lusting after or a watch that's special to you? Remember, a Grail watch doesn't have to be something expensive such as a Patek or a Rolex, but it's got to be something that you've been lusting after or something that's personal to you. And if so, then leave it in the comments. And I will catch you next time.